Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Laney Lee from Suprema. Thank you for attending the latest BioStar 2's new feature introduction webinar. Today, we'd like to learn about the major new features from BioStar 2.8.4 to 2.8.9. Today's webinar will cover the contents you see on the screen. I will give you a guide how to participate in the webinar interactively in the introduction part, and we'll review major new features of BioStar 2.8.4, 2.8.5, 2.8.6, 2.8.8, and 2.8.9 in order. Subsequently, we will have a Q&A session after briefly introducing major bug fixes for each version. If you're ready, let's start today's webinar. First, how can you find webinar contents after the session? Number 1, email. Suprema team will provide a presentation and recorded video file to the registered emails. It'll take 5 days after reviewing the files with including Q&A list. Number 2, website. You can also find the information with including Q&A list to the below site. Search Suprema webinar in the site or simply Google it. Number 3, SNS channel and YouTube. We will post the recorded video to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. For the next, let's check how you can ask questions during a webinar. 1. If you mouse over the bottom of the screen, you can find 3 icons: chat, raise hand, and Q&A. During the webinar, you can leave your questions in the Q&A box anytime. We have Suprema agents today in panelist, and they will answer in real time. However, if you wish to ask questions through a microphone, please use the raise hand icon. Users with this icon activated will receive the chance to speak upon confirmation. Please note that feedback on the raise hand icon may be provided during the Q&A session for the webinar to proceed smoothly. For those of you who may join now, we will give you a summary about the Q&A session. During the presentation, we will have a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar. You can leave your questions on the Q&A box at any time during the webinar, or you can raise your hand from the menu bar. Then you will be able to unmute your microphone once the host confirms your sign from the attendees list. When you speak through a microphone, please tell us your name and the question. We will answer one by one, so please kindly wait for your turn. Now, let's move on to the next part. BioStar 2.8.4. The first new feature of BioStar 2.8.4 is issuing Suprema mobile access cards via BioStar 2 user CSV import. This feature is designed for the case which requires registering users multiple cards at once. Let's check the sample case according to the screenshots. Step 1. Go to Mobile Credential, which is mobile access in the latest version now, under BioStar 2 settings, and connect your BioStar 2 with your AirFop portal site. Step 2. Create a CSV file which has user information. If you follow green arrows, there is a test user 6 who has email information with mobile access card number in the last line. Step 3. Import user CSV file in BioStar 2 user menu according to the screenshots. Go to CSV import, select your file, and match columns, then import. Step 4. When you check your site at AirFop portal, you will find the total number of credits that has been decreased. The second major new feature in the BioStar 2.8.4 is improvements of BioStar 2 new local API. Let's check what kind of improvements have been done. Updated API descriptions and phrases. Disabled filters for users who have not accessed the system for a long time when outputting a new API list. Support adding blacklist card. Added an API to release the locked status of the device. Improved the problem when specifying a user ID upon creating a user group. Fixed an issue where when uploading a user profile picture via API, the picture is cut off when the picture is large. The last item improved in BioStar 2.8.4 we will check is related to device filtering within the monitoring menu. Users who have used BioStar 2 for a long time may have felt inconvenient when using it because the device list in the monitoring menu has been fixed since BioStar 2.6.3. Therefore, Suprema has improved the function so that the device list can be adjusted even if a user with a custom administrator level logs in from the version 2.8.4 for user convenience. As shown in the picture, when a user with a custom administrator logs into BioStar 2 and goes to the monitoring menu, the user can select devices by checking and unchecking. The next version we will look at is BioStar 2.8.5. In this version, many improvements have been made to the functions related to BioStar 2 TA. The first major improvement of these is ability to add vegan devices as TA devices. As in the video on the screen, you can register a vegan device as a TA device in BioStar 2 TA settings. However, there is one thing to note about this improvement. Unfortunately, vegan devices do not support TA key function and TA settings. The second new feature of BioStar 2.8.5 is that even general user level users can check their latest TA report. In previous version of BioStar 2, regular users could only check the TA report last updated by the admin level. However, starting with the version 2.8.5, Users can directly update their TNA report and check the latest result. Here is a test method to verify this functionality. First of all, please check the user level. If the general user level is correct, please log in to the BioStar with this user's account. Three, access the TNA menu and click the Update Report icon. Then, the latest TNA report is reflected as shown on the screen. The third chapter is BioStar 2.8.6. BioStar 2.8.6 supports server matching of FaceStation 2, which many customers have been waiting for. However, to use this function, the firmware version must be 1.8.4 or later, and FaceStation F2 and FaceLite do not support server matching. The next new feature is the ability of face authentication devices and temperature cameras. In the previous BioStar 2 new features webinar, we introduced that there is a beta BioStar 2 version that supports TCM10, a Suprema temperature measuring camera called BioStar 2.8.2.90x. Features of this beta version were not supported in the last BioStar 2.8.3, 2.8.4, and 2.8.5 regular versions, and are supported as regular feature from 2.8.6. Customers who have previously used the beta BioStar 2 version of BioStar 2.8.2.90x can use the BioStar 2 with more various functions by upgrading to 2.8.6 or higher. The third new feature of BioStar 2.8.6 is that it supports Suprema's new authentication devices. From version 2.8.6, Suprema's new face recognition device, FaceStation F2, is supported. We also started supporting BioEntry W2 Revision 2 products with hardware improvements for Suprema mobile access. As shown in the picture at the bottom left on the screen, FaceStation F2 is divided into products that support face and cars and face and card and fingerprints, and a temperature measuring camera called TCM10 can be connected. As for BioEntry W2, the name of detailed model of the product has been changed after hardware revision is done. If you want to use Suprema Mobile Access with BioEntry W2 product in the site, please make sure that the letter B is added after the product model name. The fourth new feature is the new credential support of FaceStation F2, Suprema's new face recognition product. The face credential used by FaceStation F2 is called Visual Face. This Visual Face credential can be registered through BioStar 2, device menu, and mobile. For Visual Face credentials, only 2 images can be supported per person, and the image formats are JPG JPEG, and PNG. The image size can be registered is important. The minimum is 250 by 250, and the maximum size is 10 megabytes. The detailed registration method will be covered later. Please note, FaceStation F2 templates are not compatible with FaceStation 2 and FaceLite. So, how can you register for Visual Face? We believe that even if you have been using Suprema products or you are new, there will be no difficulties with direct registration through BioStar 2 and registration through the device menu. So, we would like to explain how to enroll Visual Face at mobile. The purpose of Visual Face mobile registration is to allow each users remotely register their own photos taken with their mobile devices and reflect them on BioStar 2 when it is difficult to register one by one because there are many users. BioStar 2 AC license standard or higher version is required to use this function, and cloud service must be activated. To use this function, please follow the guide below. Step 1. Activate the BioStar 2 cloud service. Step 2. Go to the email content item of BioStar 2 setting and fill out the contents of the email to be received by the end user and set up the SMTP configuration. This part is based on BioStar 2.8.6, and the improvement in BioStar 2.8.8 will be covered later. Step 3. Proceed with the SMTP configuration and check if the SMTP settings are correct through the test mail recipient address function. When the settings are complete, click the Apply button and save. Step 4. In BioStar 2, register a user with email information. From the BioStar 2 user list, Step 5. From the BioStar 2 user list, please select users who will receive the Visual Face mobile enrollment link. Step 6. Click the Send Visual Face mobile enrollment link button. Step 7. Take a picture of your mobile device so that your face can be seen well. Step 8. Click the link sent by the email from the mobile device where the user's face photo is stored. Please remember that this link will become invalid after 24 hours. Step 9. Follow the guide displayed on the mobile device screen to register your photo. Once the photo is registered, the link will be invalidated. The fourth chapter is BioStar 2.8.8. The first new feature of BioStar 2.8.8 is batch registration of Visual Face credentials through CSV import. This feature helps administrators to easily register their credentials by uploading facial photos of multiple users' visual faces at once in a situation where the administrator already has users' face photos. Through this function, according to the existing visual face specification, only up to 2 images JPG, JPEG, PNG format, and up to 10 megabytes are supported. In particular, when uploading images in batch via CSV, it is recommended to place the image file and the CSV file to be uploaded under the same folder. Then, let's see how to register a batch of face photos through CSV. Step 1. Pull all your photos in one folder. Step 2. Open CSV file to be uploaded in batch and add the column to be used for visual face credentials as follows. Step 3. Perform CSV import from the BioStar 2 user menu. Step 4. Map each column to the correct parameter. The parameters for the visual face credentials are at the end of the pop-up. Step 5. When the setting of the CSV import pops up is completed, a window where you can select the location where the visual face image is saved is displayed. When the directory setting is completed, please click Next icon. Step 7. Click the Next icon again and check the upload result. Step 8. When visual face image registration is complete, you can see that your visual face credential has increased. The second new feature of BioStar 2.8.8 is that you can check the measured temperature value through the notification mail function related to temperature measurement set in trigger and action. The sample on the screen is a notification when the temperature measurement result is higher than the threshold, and the user information, device information, and user temperature value measured in the email contents are checked. The third new feature is a subdivided temperature-related function in monitoring. From BioStar 2.8.8, an item called thermal report has been created in monitoring menu, and on this page, only the result related to temperature measurement can be gathered at once. Also, if necessary, this data can be output and used in CSV or PDF format. The last new feature is the visual face mobile enrollment improvements. Regarding the visual face mobile enrollment function supported from BioStar 2.8.6, Suprema has improved so that users can use function more easily. This is email contents part in BioStar 2.8.8. It removed the email body site. And this is the email which the user exactly receive. And in BioStar 2.8.6, the users had to receive the email contents like this, which the administrator wrote in the body part. However, from 2.8.8, The contents are fixed with better contents in default. The last version we will check today is BioStar 2.8.9. BioStar 2.8.9 has not yet been released, but it is expected to release in early January. So we'd like to introduce the new features and major improvements that will be supported in BioStar 2.8.9. The first improvement in BioStar 2.8.9 is that the email contents menu name in setting has been changed to email setting. In the email setting, you can currently send the link for Visual Face mobile registration, and SMTP settings set here are shared and trigger an action in BioStar 2 or SMTP settings in the TA menu. The next improvement to look for is Suprema mobile access related items. This is a feature that many users have been waiting for, but from BioStar 2.8.9, dynamic site is officially supported. In addition, information such as user picture, department, title, and deadline can now be printed on the mobile access card. Lastly, in previous BioStar 2 version, icon for reissue and block existed for mobile access card. This icon was originally intended to resend the link to download the card if it was not issued. Because of the action and the name did not match well, Suprema changed the name to resend for the correct understandings of users. The last thing to look for is the improvement of the BioStar 2 TA synchronization function. Probably some of you who attended the webinar today have experience in BioStar 2 TA where the device does not appear. You're logged out from BioStar 2, or you have seen an error message while using the TNA service. This phenomenon occurred while BioStar 2 TA was synchronizing with a BioStar 2 AC part to import data. So Suprema improved the TNA synchronization function in BioStar 2.8.9 for more convenient use of TA function for customers. If any of you have encountered an issue related to BioStar 2 TA, have provided a patch temporarily, or have been informed to upgrade an improved version of TA, please upgrade to BioStar 2.8.9, which will be released soon. This is the final part of today's webinar, Major Bug Fixes. In this section, we can check the detailed revision note through the address linked to each slide later, so I will proceed briefly. These are major bug fixes in BioStar 2.8.4. Among the items you see in the front, it seems that the item you may be interested in is number 1. The unassigned card can be re-registered by reading it from the reader or manually entering it. These are the major bug fixes in BioStar 2.8.5. Some time and attendance part bugs have been fixed in BioStar 2.8.5. There were no major bug fixes in BioStar 2.8.6. The major bug fixes in BioStar 2.8.8 are as follows. Among these, the most important item is number 6. If there are customers using BioStar 2.8.7, please upgrade to BioStar 2.8.8 or higher version. The major bug fixes in BioStar 2.8.9 will be as follows. The most important part of these is the TNA-related improvements, which we covered earlier, and we believe that many customers who had difficulties with the BioStar 2 TA function can solve the issue by upgrading the BioStar 2 version that will be released. From now on, we will conduct a Q&A session on today's item. If you have any questions, please contact us by text in the Q&A box. If there is someone you want to talk through the microphone, please click the raise hand icon and wait for your turn. We will give you the chance to speak in order of confirmation. Hi all, I would like to share one question of Marlon Mirasol. His question was, do all updates from BioStar 2.8.4 up to 2.8.8 will be included in BioStar 2.8.9? All Suprema BioStar 2 versions include the former version's features and functions and also include the bug fixes. So if you upgrade more higher version, it always contains the former versions. Okay, so we are going to end this webinar session here. Today's webinar will be uploaded to the tech support site and YouTube, and we will email you when it is done. Thank you for attending today, and see you in the next webinar.